Hi, Grade 2. This week in English, we're going to be learning about a really lovely type of poem called a Diamante poem. I wonder if you can guess what shape a Diamante poem is going to be. Gives you a little bit of a clue with the name. It sounds like a particular shape. Anyway, our learning intention is going to be we are learning to write a Diamante poem. We know that we will know we are successful if we can understand the unique features of the Diamante poem and apply your knowledge of nouns, adjectives and verbs to write a Diamante poem. Let's begin with the features. Pardon me. A Diamante poem is shaped like a diamond. I bet you already guessed that. A Diamante poem always has 7 lines, and a Diamante poem follows a pattern using a particular amount of nouns, adjectives, and verbs. So, I think it's really important at this stage that we quickly review our understanding of nouns, adjectives, and verbs. We have learnt about it earlier in this year, so this will just be a quick review. So a noun is a naming word. It can name a person, place, or thing. I often think the best way to remember a noun is you can generally touch a noun and draw a noun. That's how I always remember. An adjective is a describing word. They describe the nouns. So if you look at the sentence, there was a spider in the bathroom, and we add adjectives to it, we're going to describe the spider. So the adjectives describe the noun. So there was a huge, hairy spider in the bathroom. So what is a verb? Jumping, clapping, singing, crying, laughing. Verbs are action words. They describe what someone or something is doing. In Diamante poems, you always add an ing to the verbs you are using. So quickly review. A noun can name a person, place or thing. An adjective is a describing word, describes the noun, and a verb is an action word. Another thing that you'll need to know for writing Diamante poems is what a synonym is. So a synonym is a word that means exactly or nearly the same as another word. Such as if I were to say, could you please shut the window? Or could you please close the window? The words shut and close are synonyms because they mean the same thing as each other. Another thing that you will need to know when you're writing Diamante poems is that the punctuation will always be the same. You will begin each line with a capital letter and use commas in between every single word you use. So this is the structure of a Diamante poem. It will always be exactly the same as this. It will always have, like I said earlier, 7 lines. The first line will always begin with one noun, which is the subject of your poem. That will be followed by 2 adjectives that describe the subject. The third line will be 3 verbs which are describing the action of the subject. The fourth line will be 4 nouns that you link to the subject, that you think of when you think of the subject. And then it will go back into the reverse of that. So you will then have 3 more verbs, 2 adjectives, and the final word will be a synonym of the subject. So here is an example of a Diamante poem about spring. So you'll see it begins with a noun, which is the subject spring, followed by 2 adjectives that describe spring, 3 verbs that describe things that are happening in spring, 4 nouns that make me think of spring, then 3 verbs that end in ing of things that happen in spring, 2 more adjectives, and then a synonym for the word spring, which is season. Our learning tasks for today are going to give you the opportunity to practice your knowledge of nouns, adjectives, and verbs. You'll see I have already put in the subject for you for spring, and I've already put in the synonym for season. What you need to do is now use the move tool to move each of the words of the poem into the correct column. So you need to look for the adjectives, which are describing words, the verbs, which are actions, and the nouns, which describe a person, place, or thing. In task 3, we'll make it just a touch trickier, and you need to place each of the words of the Diamante poem about spring into the correct spot in the template to create your own Diamante poem. Have fun!